Sustainable Fashion in Urban Areas, Redefining City Style for the Eco-Conscious. Written and published by Irmici. Feel free to subscribe for more content. Now let's get into the book. Introduction. Sustainable Fashion in Urban Areas, Redefining City Style for the Eco-Conscious. Welcome to the world where fashion meets responsibility, and don't worry, it's not as boring as it sounds. Imagine walking through bustling city streets, but instead of fast fashion stores luring you in with their latest throwaway trends, you're greeted by eco-conscious brands, upcycled treasures, and fashion-forward folks rocking thrifted pieces like they're fresh off the runway. Sounds pretty cool, right? Sustainable fashion is gaining serious momentum in cities across the globe. With urban environments being a hotbed for innovation, culture, and of course trends, it's no wonder that they're also the perfect place for the eco-conscious fashion movement to thrive. Cities are, after all, where trends are born and spread like wildfire, and luckily this time the trend is saving the planet and maybe your wallet too. So what's the deal with sustainable fashion? It's about more than just wearing clothes made of hemp or organic cotton, though those are great options. Sustainable fashion is a movement that encourages us to rethink our wardrobes, our shopping habits, and how our clothes are made. It's about slowing down, choosing quality over quantity, and embracing styles that have a lower impact on our environment, and look good doing it. In this book, we'll explore how sustainable fashion is taking root in urban areas, from slow fashion movements to ethical brands, upcycling old clothes, and even shopping secondhand like a pro. You'll discover that being fashionable and environmentally conscious doesn't mean you have to sacrifice your style or your sense of humor. Whether you're a seasoned thrift shopper or someone just dipping their toes into the world of eco-friendly fashion, this book is for you. Together, we'll learn how cities are redefining style for the eco-conscious and how you can get involved without giving up your love of looking fabulous. Because let's be honest, saving the planet is great, but saving the planet while looking amazing? Even better. Ready to give your wardrobe a green makeover? Let's get started. Chapter 1. The Slow Fashion Movement, Redefining Urban Style. Let's face it, if you've ever fallen for the trap of fast fashion, you're not alone. We've all been there. You see that trendy outfit in a shop window, it's on sale for the price of a coffee, and boom, you're adding it to your closet, convinced you'll wear it everywhere. Spoiler alert, you wear it twice, it falls apart in the wash, and suddenly it's taking up permanent residency in the maybe I'll fix it one day pile. Enter slow fashion, the fashionable hero we didn't know we needed but definitely do. The slow fashion movement is the antidote to the fast fashion whirlwind, and it's gaining serious traction in urban environments. Because cities are all about fast-paced living, and ironically, they're where we need slow fashion the most. It's a movement that asks us to take a deep breath, step away from the impulsive shopping sprees, and invest in pieces that are timeless, durable, and thoughtfully made. Think of it as the fashion world's version of quality over quantity, but with a splash of stylish rebellion. So, what exactly is slow fashion? In short, it's the opposite of fast fashion's mass-produced, low-cost, wear-it-once-and-toss-it mentality. Slow fashion focuses on quality, craftsmanship, and longevity. It's about buying clothes that are built to last, made ethically, and designed to look just as good next season as they do right now. Urbanites are catching on to this trend because it fits perfectly with the city's rhythm of innovation and individuality. After all, nothing says trendsetter like an outfit you've curated thoughtfully rather than snagged off the clearance rack at lightning speed. But here's the kicker. Slow fashion isn't just about what you buy, it's about how you buy. It encourages you to ask questions like, who made this? What materials were used? Is this something I'll still love in 5 years? And honestly, it's about time we started asking those questions because the fashion industry has some skeletons in its closet, and not the cool kind. We're talking waste, pollution, and some pretty questionable labor practices. Slow fashion tackles all of this by slowing down production, reducing waste, and promoting ethical working conditions. And the best part? Cities around the world are becoming hotbeds for slow fashion. Whether you're strolling through boutique-lined streets in New York, London, or Tokyo, or discovering local designers in your own neighborhood, urban environments are teeming with brands that embrace slow fashion principles. They're proving that fashion doesn't have to be disposable, it can be sustainable, ethical, and still make you look like a total rock star. So, how can you embrace the slow fashion movement in your own urban jungle? Start by curating a wardrobe of quality pieces that reflect your personal style. Look for clothes made from sustainable materials, or shop from ethical brands that prioritize craftsmanship over mass production. And hey, don't forget the secondhand gems waiting to be discovered in your local thrift store. We'll dive deeper into that soon. Slow fashion isn't about giving up your love of style. It's about redefining what style means in a world where fast fashion is the norm. It's about making thoughtful choices, supporting ethical businesses, and feeling good about what you're wearing, because the best accessory is a clear conscience, right? And who knows? Your carefully selected wardrobe might just become the envy of your city block. In the end, slow fashion is more than just a trend. It's a movement that's here to stay. So why not join the fashionable revolution? After all, city life may be fast, but your wardrobe doesn't have to be. Chapter 2: Ethical Fashion Brands, Leading the Way in Urban Sustainability. Let's talk about something most of us love: brands. Whether we admit it or not, we all have our go-to favorites when it comes to fashion. Maybe it's that trendy label everyone's talking about, or that boutique designer who always nails your style. But here's the thing: are those brands making clothes with a clear conscience, or are they hiding some not-so-ethical practices behind those chic labels? Don't worry, we're not here to guilt-trip you out of loving fashion. Instead, let's explore how ethical fashion brands are changing the game, one sustainable stitch at a time. In cities, we're surrounded by fashion. It's in the windows of bustling shops, the outfits of stylish commuters, and even on massive billboards that scream, "Buy me." And while it's easy to be dazzled by the glamour of it all, there's a growing wave of urbanites who are asking the right questions. Who made my clothes? What are they made of? Is this brand doing more harm than good? Enter the heroes of this chapter: ethical fashion brands. So, what makes a brand ethical and why should we care? In short, ethical fashion brands focus on fair wages, safe working conditions, and eco-friendly materials. They're the brands that give a hoot about their workers and the planet, not just profits. These companies prioritize transparency, ensuring that their supply chains are free of the dodgy practices that have plagued the fashion industry for years. It's not just about making great clothes, it's about doing it in a way that doesn't harm people or the environment. And cities? Oh, cities are the perfect breeding ground for these kinds of forward-thinking brands. Urban environments are all about innovation and pushing boundaries, so it's no surprise that ethical fashion brands are popping up in every corner of major cities like New York, Paris, and Berlin. These brands aren't just following trends, they're creating them. They're proof that fashion can be both stylish and responsible, which is something every urban shopper should be able to get behind. Let's dive into a few standout ethical brands that are redefining what it means to be fashionable in the city. 1. Patagonia. You probably know this brand for its outdoor gear, but did you know they're also one of the leaders in ethical fashion? Based out of California, Patagonia is all about transparency and sustainability. They repair old garments, use recycled materials, and donate a percentage of their profits to environmental causes. They're like the cool, outdoorsy neighbor you wish you could be friends with. 2. Stella McCartney. Known for high fashion without the high environmental cost, Stella McCartney is a designer who's long been a trailblazer in ethical luxury fashion. No leather, no fur, and a focus on sustainable materials. Her brand is proof that you don't need to sacrifice style for sustainability. McCartney's collections are big in urban fashion capitals, and they're a favorite among eco-conscious fashionistas. 3. Everlane. This brand is all about radical transparency. No, that's not just a catchy tagline. Everlane discloses the true cost of every item they sell, including how much goes to materials, labor, and transport. Their minimalist styles are a hit with urban dwellers who appreciate clean lines, quality fabrics, and the peace of mind that comes with knowing their clothes aren't supporting unethical practices. 4. Reformation. If you're living in a city and have a closet full of trendy pieces that still manage to be eco-friendly, chances are you've come across Reformation. This brand focuses on sustainable materials, eco-friendly practices, and creating clothes that are chic but not wasteful. They've mastered the art of making ethical fashion cool. Just check out their stores in major cities, which are decked out in recycled materials, naturally. So, why should you, as an urban dweller, care about supporting ethical brands? Well, for starters, you're living in the heartbeat of change. Cities are where cultural shifts happen first, and by choosing to support brands that prioritize ethics and sustainability, you're helping to drive that change. Urban areas thrive on innovation, and by choosing ethical fashion, you're encouraging more brands to follow suit. Plus, you're doing your part to reduce the harmful impact the fashion industry has on the planet, because who wants to live in a city full of pollution and waste? But supporting ethical brands isn't just about being environmentally conscious, though that's a huge plus. It's also about quality. Ethical brands tend to focus on craftsmanship, meaning their clothes are built to last. Instead of cheap fabrics that fall apart after a few wears, you're investing in pieces that will be staples in your wardrobe for years. In a city where trends change as quickly as the weather, having timeless, well-made clothing is a win-win. Of course, it's not always easy to shop ethically. Ethical fashion brands often come with a higher price tag, which can be a tough pill to swallow if you're used to fast fashion prices. But here's where the magic happens. Ethical fashion encourages us to buy less but better. Instead of buying 5 cheap t-shirts that will fall apart, you invest in one high-quality shirt that will last for years. In the end, you're saving money, reducing waste, and looking good doing it. So, next time you're strolling through the streets of your favorite city, take a moment to think about the brands you're supporting. Is that stylish outfit really worth it if it's made at the expense of someone else's well-being or the planet's health? By choosing ethical fashion brands, you're not just making a fashion statement, you're making a statement that you care about the world around you. Now that you know how ethical fashion brands are leading the way in urban sustainability, are you ready to join the movement? The next time you're tempted to grab that fast fashion bargain, pause, think, and ask yourself if there's a better option. Chances are, there's an ethical brand out there waiting to redefine your city style, and your wardrobe will be all the better for it. Chapter 3: The Role of Thrift Stores and Secondhand Shopping in Sustainable Fashion. Thrift shopping, what used to be a quirky niche hobby, has now become a full-blown urban fashion phenomenon. Whether you're a seasoned thrifter who can spot a designer gem from a mile away or a newbie who's just dipping a toe into secondhand waters, there's no denying the allure of rummaging through racks and walking out with an unexpected and guilt-free find. But beyond the thrill of scoring that vintage leather jacket for next to nothing, there's a deeper reason why thrift shopping has become a key player in the sustainable fashion movement, especially in urban areas. Let's be honest, cities and fashion are a match made in heaven. From the trendsetters strutting through the streets to the storefronts boasting the latest collections, urban environments are constantly buzzing with style. But cities are also a breeding ground for waste. With so many people shopping, discarding, and buying again, it's no wonder landfills are overflowing with clothes that were worn once, then tossed aside. Enter the unsung hero of sustainable fashion, the thrift store. So, why should you care about thrift stores and secondhand shopping in your city? Let's break it down. First off, thrift stores are recycling hubs for fashion. When you buy secondhand, you're giving clothes a second or third or fourth life, keeping them out of landfills and reducing the demand for new production. Fashion, especially fast fashion, is one of the most resource-intensive industries on the planet, consuming massive amounts of water, energy, and raw materials. By choosing to thrift, you're cutting out a chunk of that environmental impact. Think of it this way: every time you snag that retro band tee or perfectly worn-in pair of jeans, you're making a tiny but mighty contribution to the planet. Secondhand shopping also promotes individuality. In a world where fast fashion often churns out the same styles for the masses, thrift shopping allows you to cultivate a truly unique wardrobe. Instead of blending into the crowd with the same high street outfit as everyone else, you're rocking one-of-a-kind finds that make your style stand out. Urban fashion is all about expression, and what better way to express yourself than through clothes that have their own stories and histories? Let's talk about some of the major perks of thrift shopping in urban areas. 1. The selection is endless. Cities are constantly in flux. People are moving in and out, cleaning out their closets, and donating to local thrift stores. This means the turnover at second-hand shops in urban areas is fast, and there's always something new or vintage waiting to be discovered. Whether you're in a quirky neighborhood filled with retro treasures or an upscale area known for its designer donations, the variety is unbeatable. 2. Affordable fashion for every budget. Living in a city can be expensive, but your wardrobe doesn't have to be. Thrift stores offer a budget-friendly way to stay stylish without breaking the bank. Instead of splurging on fast fashion pieces that may not last more than a season, you can build a sustainable wardrobe filled with quality, well-made clothing at a fraction of the cost. Plus, the hunt for a good deal adds an element of fun, because who doesn't love a bargain? 3. Supporting local charities and communities. Many thrift stores in cities are run by charitable organizations, which means your dollars go toward more than just your closet. When you shop secondhand, you're often supporting local causes and initiatives, helping communities while looking fabulous. It's a win-win situation. 4. Encouraging a circular economy. Thrift shopping is one of the most accessible ways to participate in the circular economy. When you donate clothes you no longer wear and buy secondhand, you're part of a system that reduces waste and extends the life of products. Urban areas, with their high population density, are prime for fostering this kind of sustainable ecosystem. Now, before you run off to your nearest thrift store to start treasure hunting, let's talk about how to thrift like a pro. After all, not all thrift store experiences are created equal, and a little strategy can go a long way. 1. Be patient. Thrifting is like a treasure hunt, and sometimes it takes time to find the gold. You won't always strike fashion gold on your first visit, but with a bit of patience, the right pieces will reveal themselves. Set aside a couple of hours and embrace the joy of the search. You never know what gems are hiding on the racks. 2. Have an open mind. While it's helpful to have a few items in mind, the beauty of thrifting lies in its unpredictability. You might walk in looking for a jacket and walk out with the perfect pair of vintage boots instead. Be open to styles, colors, and brands you wouldn't normally gravitate toward. You could discover a new favorite look. 3. Check for quality. Since you're shopping secondhand, it's essential to check the quality of each item. Look for signs of wear like missing buttons, holes, or stains. However, don't shy away from minor imperfections that can be easily fixed. This is where your creativity comes in. Plus, giving a little love to a pre-loved item can make it feel even more special. 4. Know your thrift stores. Urban areas are often packed with different types of thrift stores, from charity shops to vintage boutiques. Some specialize in certain eras or styles, while others might have a broader range. Spend some time exploring different stores to find the ones that best suit your taste and budget. And don't forget about online secondhand platforms, which offer the convenience of shopping from your couch while still being eco-friendly. One of the coolest aspects of secondhand shopping is the community it fosters. Thrifters are a unique breed of fashion lovers who appreciate the history behind their clothes, the sustainability of their choices, and the stories they can pass on to others. Many cities have vibrant thrift shopping communities, whether it's online groups where people share their best finds or local events like swap meets and secondhand markets. When you thrift in the city, you're not just buying clothes, you're joining a movement. Finally, secondhand shopping is a gateway to upcycling and DIY fashion. But more on that in the next chapter. For now, remember that thrift stores are a fashionista's paradise and a sustainability hero all rolled into one. So, the next time you're in need of some retail therapy, why not head to your local thrift store instead of a fast fashion chain? Who knows, you might walk out with a killer outfit, a few extra dollars in your pocket, and the satisfaction of knowing you're helping the planet one pre-loved piece at a time. Happy thrifting. Chapter 4. Upcycling fashion, giving old clothes a new life in urban spaces. Let's be real, fashion trends come and go faster than the latest viral TikTok dance. 1 minute, everyone's obsessed with chunky sneakers, and the next it's all about sleek minimalism. But what happens to all those once trendy items when they're no longer cool? Too often they get shoved to the back of the closet, forgotten, or worse, thrown away. That's where upcycling comes in, the creative solution to transforming your old clothes into something fresh, stylish, and completely one-of-a-kind. And the best part? Upcycling is thriving in urban spaces, where creativity and sustainability go hand in hand. So what exactly is upcycling? In simple terms, it's the process of taking something old and turning it into something new, and even better. Unlike recycling, where materials are broken down and repurposed, upcycling keeps the original item intact, breathing new life into it with a bit of creativity and elbow grease. For example, that oversized band tee that's been languishing in your drawer? With a few cuts and stitches, it could become your new favorite crop top. Or those jeans with holes in all the wrong places. Patch them up with funky fabric and voila, you've got yourself a statement piece. Urban environments are the perfect breeding ground for upcycling. Why? Because cities are all about innovation, resourcefulness, and, let's face it, a little bit of showing off. The city streets are like a runway, and what better way to strut your stuff than in a custom, one-of-a-kind piece you made yourself? Plus, upcycling is inherently sustainable, reducing the need to buy new clothes and cutting down on textile waste, which, by the way, is a huge problem in urban areas. Let's talk numbers for a second. The fashion industry generates millions of tons of textile waste every year, with a significant portion of that waste coming from cities. Clothes that could easily be repurposed or upcycled often end up in landfills, where they take years, sometimes decades, to decompose. By embracing upcycling, we're not just getting creative, we're also doing our part to reduce the environmental impact of our wardrobes. Now, before you start thinking that upcycling is just for artsy types with a sewing machine and an endless supply of DIY skills, let me assure you, anyone can upcycle. Yes, even if your last creative project involved macaroni and glue. Upcycling can be as simple or as complex as you want it to be, and the beauty of it lies in the fact that there are no rules. You don't need to be a fashion designer to turn an old scarf into a cool headband or transform a pair of outdated jeans into trendy cutoffs. Urban areas are packed with resources to help you get started. From craft stores and fabric markets to workshops and maker spaces, cities are full of tools and inspiration for upcyclers. You can also find plenty of online tutorials that guide you step by step through simple and not so simple upcycling projects. And let's not forget the social aspect. Many cities have upcycling communities where people come together to share ideas, swap materials, and showcase their creations. But what's really exciting is how urban designers and makers are taking upcycling to the next level. In cities like London, New York, and Tokyo, there's a growing movement of fashion-forward creatives who are turning upcycling into an art form. These designers are reclaiming old garments and textiles, mixing and matching them to create entirely new collections that are not only sustainable but also incredibly chic. They're proving that upcycled fashion isn't just about patching up old clothes, it can be cutting-edge, trendy, and even luxurious. Take, for instance, designers like Christopher Rayburn, who's known for transforming military surplus materials into high-fashion pieces, or Bethany Williams, whose collections are made entirely from upcycled or recycled fabrics. These designers are pushing the boundaries of what fashion can be, showing that sustainability and style can go hand in hand. And they're not the only ones. Urban areas are full of independent makers who are making a name for themselves through their creative, upcycled designs. So, how can you start upcycling your own wardrobe? Here are a few simple ideas to get those creative juices flowing. 1. T-shirt transformation. Got a drawer full of old tees that don't get much wear? Grab a pair of scissors and some fabric paint, and give them a second life as crop tops, fringe tanks, or even tote bags. It's a quick, easy way to refresh your wardrobe without spending a dime. 2. Denim revamp. Denim is one of the most versatile materials to upcycle. If you've got a pair of jeans that don't fit quite right or have seen better days, try adding patches, embroidery, or distressing them for a whole new look. You can even turn old jeans into shorts or a stylish skirt. 3. Sweater makeover. Upcycle that oversized sweater by turning it into a cozy cardigan or a chic shrug. Add some buttons, cut it to a flattering length, and you've got yourself a custom piece that's perfect for layering during cooler months. 4. Accessorize with scraps. Don't throw away those fabric scraps. Use leftover pieces to make headbands, scrunchies, or even patches for other clothing items. Small upcycling projects like these are a great way to get creative without needing advanced sewing skills. 5. Customize your footwear. Shoes can be upcycled too. Whether it's painting an old pair of sneakers or adding embellishments to worn-out boots, upcycling your footwear is a fun way to express your personal style while keeping your shoes out of the landfill. But upcycling isn't just a way to update your wardrobe, it's also a mindset. It encourages us to see fashion as something that evolves, rather than something disposable. Instead of tossing out clothes the moment they're no longer in style, upcycling invites us to reimagine their potential. It's about creativity, resourcefulness, and a desire to minimize waste, all things that are particularly important in today's fast-paced urban world. Plus, let's not forget the bragging rights. There's something undeniably satisfying about wearing something you've upcycled yourself. When someone compliments your outfit, you get to say, "Thanks, I made this." And trust me, that never gets old. Whether it's a small tweak or a full transformation, upcycling allows you to put your personal stamp on your clothes in a way that fast fashion simply can't. Urban fashion is constantly evolving, and upcycling is a key part of that evolution. It's not just a trend, it's a sustainable approach to style that's here to stay. So, the next time you're tempted to toss out that old jacket or dress, take a moment to think about how you could give it a new lease on life. You might just surprise yourself with what you can create. In the world of sustainable fashion, upcycling is the ultimate win-win. It's good for the planet, great for your wallet, and fabulous for your wardrobe. So grab those old clothes, roll up your sleeves, and get ready to unleash your inner designer. The fashion world, and your closet, will thank you. Chapter 5. Sustainable Materials. What's trending in urban fashion? When you think about fashion, chances are you're picturing the latest cuts, colors, and designs. But what about the fabrics? The materials that make up those stylish pieces hanging in your closet have a bigger impact than you might think, especially when it comes to sustainability. In cities where trends come and go faster than you can say runway, there's a growing awareness of what our clothes are made of, and a shift toward materials that are as kind to the planet as they are to our wardrobes. Welcome to the world of sustainable materials, where fabrics do more than just look good. They help protect the environment, reduce waste, and minimize harmful practices in the fashion industry. And no, you don't need to walk around wearing a burlap sack or a pair of sandals made out of twigs to be eco-friendly, unless that's your thing, of course. The reality is that sustainable materials are not only practical but also super stylish, and they're popping up all over the urban fashion scene. Let's start with the basics. What makes a material sustainable? In general, it's all about how the fabric is produced, the resources used to make it, and how it breaks down after its time in your closet is up. Sustainable materials tend to use fewer resources such as water and energy, and are often biodegradable or recyclable, meaning they won't sit in a landfill for centuries. They're kinder to the environment and often result in a longer-lasting, higher-quality garment, exactly what you want when you're building a wardrobe that's meant to stand the test of time. So, what's trending in the world of sustainable materials? Let's take a stroll through some of the fabrics that are making waves in urban fashion right now. 1. Organic cotton, the not-so-basic basic. A cotton. It's in your t-shirts, your jeans, your bed sheets, pretty much everywhere. But while cotton is a staple in the fashion world, it's also a thirsty crop, guzzling water like a parched marathon runner and relying heavily on pesticides. Enter organic cotton, the eco-friendly alternative that's taking over the urban fashion scene. Organic cotton is grown without harmful chemicals, using methods that have a lower environmental impact. Not only does it require less water, but it also promotes healthier soil and ecosystems. Plus, it's just as soft and versatile as conventional cotton, so you won't even notice a difference, except, of course, in your conscience. Urban fashion brands are increasingly turning to organic cotton for everything from t-shirts to dresses to denim. You've probably seen brands like Everlane and Patagonia leading the charge with their organic cotton collections. They're proving that you don't have to sacrifice style or comfort to make a more sustainable choice. 2. Tencel, the urbanites' favorite tree-hugging fabric. Let's talk about Tencel, one of the trendiest sustainable fabrics out there right now. This magical material is made from wood pulp. Yes, you read that right, wood pulp, specifically from sustainably managed eucalyptus trees. And here's the kicker. The process of making Tencel uses far less water and energy than traditional fabrics, and it's fully biodegradable. It's like Mother Nature's gift to your wardrobe. What makes Tencel so popular in urban fashion circles is its versatility and luxurious feel. It's soft, breathable, and has a beautiful drape that works well for everything from chic dresses to tailored trousers. Brands like Reformation have embraced Tencel in their collections, offering pieces that are not only stylish but also environmentally conscious. If you haven't tried it yet, trust me, once you wear Tencel you'll never want to go back. 3. Hemp, no longer just for hippies. Hemp has come a long way from its bohemian reputation. Once associated with laid-back festival-goers and the free-spirited lifestyle, hemp is now making a serious comeback in the urban fashion world, and for good reason. Hemp is one of the most sustainable fabrics out there. It requires very little water to grow, naturally regenerates the soil, and doesn't need pesticides or herbicides. It's a fast-growing crop that's easy on the environment, and it produces a fabric that's durable, breathable, and naturally antibacterial. Plus, the more you wear hemp, the softer it gets, making it a perfect material for everyday urban wear. You'll find hemp in a variety of urban styles, from eco-friendly jeans to casual t-shirts and even tailored blazers. It's no longer just for the tie-dye crowd, it's now a staple in sustainable city fashion. 4. Recycled polyester, turning trash into treasure. Polyester is one of the most commonly used fabrics in fashion, but it's not exactly winning any sustainability awards. It's made from petroleum, requires a lot of energy to produce, and doesn't break down easily, meaning it sticks around in landfills for a long time. But here's the good news. Recycled polyester is changing the game by taking old plastic, think water bottles, fishing nets, and even discarded clothing, and turning it into new fabric. Recycled polyester gives new life to plastic waste, keeping it out of the ocean and landfills, and it uses far less energy to produce than virgin polyester. It's durable, versatile, and can be used in everything from activewear to outerwear. Urban brands like Girlfriend Collective and Adidas are embracing recycled polyester, proving that you can look good while reducing plastic waste. 5. Bamboo, softer than your favorite sweatshirt. Bamboo might not be the first thing that comes to mind when you think of fashion, but trust me, this plant is a powerhouse when it comes to sustainability. Bamboo grows incredibly fast, doesn't require pesticides or much water, and produces a fabric that's unbelievably soft and comfortable. Bamboo fabric is naturally moisture-wicking and breathable, making it perfect for urbanites who are always on the go. It's often used for activewear, loungewear, and underwear, but it's also finding its way into more stylish urban pieces. Brands like Booty have built their entire collections around bamboo, offering eco-friendly basics that are as soft as they are sustainable. 6. Pinatex, pineapple leather for the bold and stylish. Here's where things get really exciting. Pinatex is an innovative material made from pineapple leaf fibers, and it's taking the fashion world by storm. Think of it as an eco-friendly alternative to leather, but without the cruelty or environmental damage. It's durable, water-resistant, and, wait for it, completely plant-based. Pinatex is being used by a growing number of urban designers to create shoes, bags, jackets, and accessories that are as sustainable as they are stylish. It's a bold, innovative fabric that's perfect for anyone who wants to make a fashion statement while supporting the planet. These materials are just the beginning of what's possible in the world of sustainable fashion. As more brands and consumers in urban areas become aware of the environmental impact of their clothes, we're seeing a huge shift toward fabrics that are kinder to the planet. Cities are at the forefront of this movement, with designers, makers, and shoppers all embracing the idea that fashion can be both stylish and sustainable. But here's the thing: sustainable materials are only one part of the puzzle. To truly make an impact, we need to rethink how we approach fashion as a whole. That means choosing quality over quantity, investing in pieces that last, and supporting brands that prioritize sustainability every step of the way. So, the next time you're shopping for a new addition to your wardrobe, take a moment to check the label. Is that fabric doing more harm than good? Or is it part of the solution, helping to create a more sustainable future for fashion? Because in the world of urban fashion, being eco-conscious is not just a trend, it's the future. Chapter 6: Urban Fashion and the Circular Economy, Closing the Loop. If there's one thing cities are known for, it's their constant motion. People, ideas, trends, they're always moving, evolving, and transforming. And lately there's been one big idea swirling around in the urban fashion world that's got everyone talking: the circular economy. If that phrase just made your brain do a little flip, don't worry. It sounds more like a math problem than a fashion movement, but in reality, it's one of the most exciting and necessary shifts happening in how we think about clothes, and it's already making a huge impact on city style. So, what exactly is the circular economy and how does it relate to fashion? In short, it's the opposite of the traditional take, make, dispose model that has dominated the industry for decades. In the old system, we extract raw materials, make products, and when those products have served their purpose, or let's be honest, gone out of style, we toss them out. Rinse and repeat. The result? Massive amounts of waste and environmental damage, especially in cities where fashion consumption is sky high. The circular economy, however, aims to break that cycle by keeping products in use for as long as possible, minimizing waste, and ensuring that, when something reaches the end of its life, it's repurposed, recycled, or biodegraded in a way that benefits the environment. It's about creating a closed loop, where nothing is wasted and everything has value, whether it's an old pair of jeans or the fibers they're made from. Urban fashion is perfectly positioned to embrace this concept, and cities around the world are becoming hotbeds for circular fashion initiatives. Whether it's through clothing rental services, repair shops, upcycling movements, or brand-led take-back programs, urbanites are finding new and creative ways to keep fashion sustainable. Let's take a closer look at how the circular economy is changing the way we shop, wear, and think about fashion in the city. 1. Clothing rental, a wardrobe without the commitment. Let's be honest, we've all been there, buying an outfit for a special occasion that ends up collecting dust in the back of the closet after it's one big night out. It's not the best use of your money or wardrobe space, but hey, it happens. Now imagine a world where you don't have to own every single piece of clothing you wear. Instead, you could simply rent that perfect party dress, blazer, or even an entire wardrobe, wear it for a while, and then send it back when you're ready for something new. Welcome to the world of clothing rental, a game changer for sustainable urban fashion. Clothing rental services are popping up in cities everywhere, offering urban dwellers the chance to borrow high-quality, trendy clothes for a fraction of the cost of buying them. Services like Rent the Runway, HURR Collective, and Loot Tote are leading the charge, allowing fashion lovers to experiment with different styles without the guilt of adding to the waste stream. It's a win-win. You get to look fabulous, and the environment gets a break from fast fashion's relentless consumption. But it's not just about renting clothes for a special occasion. Many urbanites are now using rental services for their everyday wardrobe, allowing them to switch things up regularly without constantly buying new pieces. Think of it as a revolving door for your closet, where you can always stay on trend without the environmental cost. 2. Clothing repair. Mending is the new black. Once upon a time, if your clothes ripped, tore, or lost a button, you'd take them to your local tailor or repair them yourself. But somewhere along the way, fast fashion made it cheaper and easier to replace damaged items rather than fix them. The result? Mountains of clothing waste. But in cities today, a new wave of fashion-conscious consumers is embracing the art of clothing repair, and it's making a serious comeback. Urban areas are seeing a resurgence of repair shops, where you can take your well-loved, but slightly battered, clothes for a quick fix. From mending holes in your favorite jeans to replacing zippers on your go-to jacket, these services keep your clothes in circulation longer, reducing the need for new purchases. In fact, cities like Amsterdam and Berlin have become repair capitals, with dedicated repair cafes and workshops where people can bring their clothes to be fixed while learning a few DIY skills along the way. Not only does repairing your clothes save you money, but it's also a fantastic way to hold on to those pieces that carry sentimental value. Like that vintage leather jacket you picked up at a flea market or the dress you wore on your first day at your dream job. And hey, there's something deeply satisfying about giving a new life to something you thought was destined for the donation bin. 3. Take-back programs, closing the fashion loop. Have you ever bought something, worn it for a while and then thought, what do I do with this now? Brands are starting to answer that question for you, thanks to take-back programs that are becoming increasingly popular in cities worldwide. These programs, run by fashion brands themselves, allow you to return your old clothes so they can be recycled, repurposed, or resold, closing the loop on fashion consumption. Companies like H&M and Patagonia have been pioneers in this space, offering take-back initiatives where customers can drop off their unwanted clothes in exchange for store credit or other rewards. The idea is simple. Rather than tossing old clothes in the trash, they're collected and either recycled into new materials or resold in second-hand markets. It's a brilliant way to keep clothes out of landfills and in circulation, giving them a second, or third, life. These programs are especially important in cities, where the sheer volume of clothing waste is staggering. Take-back programs not only reduce waste but also help brands build loyalty with eco-conscious consumers who are looking for ways to minimize their environmental impact. 4. Resale and second-hand, a new take on new. If you've been paying attention to urban fashion trends lately, you'll know that second-hand shopping is having a serious moment. Thrift stores, consignment shops, and online resale platforms are thriving, especially in cities, where fashion-conscious consumers are waking up to the idea that new doesn't necessarily mean brand new. Buying second-hand is one of the easiest ways to participate in the circular economy, and it's gaining traction among urbanites who want to look good while doing good. From brick-and-mortar thrift stores to online platforms like Depop, Poshmark, and The RealReal, second-hand shopping has gone from being a niche market to a mainstream trend. It's not just about finding a bargain, though let's be honest, that's a huge perk. It's about giving clothes that are still in great condition a second chance, reducing the demand for new production and cutting down on waste. In cities where fashion turnover is fast and furious, second-hand shopping offers a sustainable alternative that's as stylish as it is eco-friendly. One of the best things about the rise of resale in urban fashion is the sheer variety. Whether you're hunting for high-end designer pieces, vintage gems, or everyday staples, there's a second-hand market for it. And with more and more urban consumers opting for pre-loved fashion, the selection is constantly evolving, making it easier than ever to find something that suits your style and values. 5. Circular fashion startups, innovation at its finest. If there's one thing cities excel at, it's innovation. And when it comes to circular fashion, startups are leading the charge with groundbreaking ideas that are revolutionizing the industry. From companies creating biodegradable textiles to apps that help you swap clothes with your neighbors, urban areas are becoming hotbeds for circular fashion innovation. Take For Days, a circular fashion brand that allows customers to return worn-out clothes in exchange for new ones, ensuring that nothing goes to waste. Or Circular Fashion, a Berlin-based startup that's developing digital tools to make fashion products more recyclable. These companies are rethinking the entire life cycle of fashion, from design to disposal, and cities are the perfect testing grounds for their bold ideas. The circular economy is more than just a buzzword, it's a necessary shift in how we think about fashion, especially in urban areas where consumption and waste are at their highest. By embracing the principles of reuse, repair, and recycle, cities can lead the way in creating a more sustainable fashion industry, one that's kinder to the planet and smarter for consumers. Urban fashion is always evolving, and the circular economy is the next big step in that evolution. From clothing rentals to take-back programs, from repair shops to second-hand shopping, there are endless ways for urbanites to get involved in closing the fashion loop. The question is, are you ready to join the movement? So next time you're thinking about refreshing your wardrobe, pause and consider how you can do it sustainably. Maybe it's renting a statement piece for that big event, fixing up an old favorite, or swapping clothes with a friend. Because in the circular economy, nothing goes to waste, and that's a trend we can all get behind. Chapter 7. The Impact of Urban Fashion Events and Shows on Sustainability. If there's one thing that cities are known for, it's the ability to host grand spectacles, and nowhere is this more evident than in the world of fashion. Fashion shows, festivals, and events are the lifeblood of urban style, setting trends that ripple through streets, closets, and Instagram feeds alike. But beyond the glitz, glamour, and flashing cameras, there's a new conversation happening behind the scenes. One that's asking some hard-hitting questions about sustainability in the fashion industry. How can we make these events greener? How can we use fashion shows to inspire change rather than just celebrate consumption? And most importantly, how can we turn fashion events into catalysts for a more sustainable future? Urban fashion events are the ultimate stage for style innovation, but in recent years, they've also become a platform for environmental activism and sustainability initiatives. From runway shows that showcase eco-friendly designs to festivals that highlight ethical fashion brands, cities are transforming these stylish spectacles into meaningful movements. But make no mistake, these events aren't just about strutting down the runway in biodegradable fabrics, though that's a start. They're about rethinking how we produce, consume, and celebrate fashion, and figuring out how cities can lead the charge in making the industry more sustainable. So, how exactly are urban fashion events driving the sustainability conversation? Let's dive into the exciting ways fashion shows and festivals are using their platforms for good, and why they're crucial to the future of eco-friendly fashion. 1. Eco-conscious fashion weeks. A new runway for sustainability. Fashion weeks are the crown jewels of the fashion calendar. Twice a year, the most fashionable cities in the world, Paris, New York, Milan, London, become the epicenters of style, hosting iconic runway shows that set the trends for seasons to come. But lately, the glittering world of fashion weeks has been forced to confront its darker side, the massive environmental footprint these events leave behind. From the waste generated by temporary sets to the carbon emissions of flying in designers, models, and attendees from around the world, fashion weeks have traditionally been anything but eco-friendly. But that's starting to change. In cities like Copenhagen, the fashion week scene is getting a sustainable makeover, with event organizers actively working to reduce waste, promote ethical brands, and make the entire process more environmentally conscious. Take Copenhagen Fashion Week, for example, which has set ambitious sustainability goals for itself, aiming to be completely carbon neutral by 2023. The event has introduced guidelines for participating designers, requiring them to meet certain sustainability criteria, such as using eco-friendly materials, reducing water consumption, and ensuring ethical labor practices. It's not just about showcasing the latest trends, it's about proving that sustainability can be at the heart of high fashion. Other cities are following suit. Helsinki Fashion Week is known for exclusively featuring designers committed to sustainability, and Oslo Runway has incorporated circular fashion principles into its event planning. These fashion weeks are setting a new standard for the industry, showing that fashion can be both innovative and environmentally responsible. 2. Sustainable fashion shows, putting eco-friendly designs in the spotlight. While traditional fashion weeks are making strides toward sustainability, there's also a growing number of sustainable fashion shows popping up in urban centers around the globe. These events are dedicated to showcasing designers and brands that prioritize eco-friendly materials, ethical labor practices, and waste reduction. They're turning the spotlight on the designers who are leading the charge in sustainable fashion, and they're proving that style and sustainability can go hand in hand. For example, Eco Fashion Week in Vancouver is entirely devoted to sustainable fashion, offering a platform for eco-conscious designers to show off their collections. The event features workshops, panel discussions, and runway shows, all centered around reducing the environmental impact of fashion. And it's not just a niche event, it's growing in popularity, attracting fashion enthusiasts and industry insiders who are eager to see what the future of sustainable fashion looks like. These types of events are crucial because they help shift the public's perception of what sustainable fashion can be. No longer is eco-friendly fashion seen as boring or overly utilitarian. Instead, these shows prove that sustainability can be luxurious, cutting-edge, and trend-setting. By showcasing collections made from organic cotton, recycled materials, and even innovative fabrics like mushroom leather, these events inspire both consumers and designers to rethink their approach to fashion. 3. Fashion festivals with a sustainable twist. Fashion festivals, which often feature a mix of runway shows, marketplaces, and panel discussions, are also getting in on the sustainability action. These events have a unique advantage. They're not just about watching models walk down a runway, they're about engaging directly with consumers, designers, and thought leaders in the industry. Take Fashion Revolution Week, for example. Held in cities across the world, this event was born out of the tragic 2013 Rana Plaza factory collapse, which highlighted the need for greater transparency and ethical practices in the fashion industry. During Fashion Revolution Week, urbanites are encouraged to ask brands, "Who made my clothes?" and demand better working conditions and sustainable practices. The week is filled with workshops, clothing swaps, pop-up markets, and panel discussions that empower people to be more conscious about their fashion choices. Another example is Future Fabrics Expo in London, a festival-like event that brings together fashion designers, material innovators, and sustainability experts to showcase the latest in sustainable textiles. It's a hands-on way for people in the industry to discover new materials that can help reduce the environmental impact of fashion, from plant-based leathers to fabrics made from ocean plastic. These festivals not only celebrate sustainable fashion but also provide practical solutions for designers looking to incorporate eco-friendly materials into their collections. 4. Influencers and sustainability advocates, the new front row. In the age of Instagram, who's sitting in the front row at fashion events can sometimes matter as much as what's happening on the runway. Traditionally, that front row was reserved for celebrities, editors, and industry insiders, but today, a new wave of sustainability influencers is making their presence felt. These are the people using their platforms to advocate for ethical fashion, eco-friendly practices, and conscious consumption. Urban fashion events are increasingly inviting sustainability advocates to sit front and center, helping spread the message that fashion and sustainability must go hand in hand. Influencers like Aya Barber, Venetia LaManna, and Leah Thomas, aka Green Girl Leah, are using their considerable social media followings to highlight sustainable fashion brands, call out the harmful practices of fast fashion, and inspire their audiences to make more mindful fashion choices. This shift is crucial because, let's be real, fashion events can often feel exclusive, catering to a small circle of insiders. But with sustainability advocates in the mix, the conversation is opening up, becoming more accessible to everyday people who want to look stylish without sacrificing their ethics. By spotlighting influencers who care about sustainability, urban fashion events are helping to make eco-friendly fashion the norm, rather than the exception. 5. The future of fashion events, greener and more inclusive. As more cities embrace sustainability in their fashion events, the future looks bright and much greener. But there's still work to be done. Many urban fashion weeks and shows are beginning to recognize the need for diversity and inclusion alongside sustainability, ensuring that the fashion industry not only reduces its environmental footprint but also represents a wider range of voices and perspectives. The future of urban fashion events will likely see more collaborations between designers, brands, and activists working toward a common goal, making fashion more ethical, inclusive, and eco-friendly. Whether through pop-up shows featuring local, sustainable designers or large-scale festivals promoting slow fashion, these events are creating the blueprint for a new kind of fashion industry, one that values the planet as much as profit. In the coming years, we can expect to see even more innovation in how fashion events are produced and presented. Imagine runways powered by renewable energy, zero-waste set designs, and digital fashion shows that eliminate the need for travel altogether. Cities are already experimenting with these ideas, pushing the boundaries of what's possible in the name of sustainability. Urban fashion events are more than just a celebration of style, they're becoming a force for change in the fashion industry. By putting sustainability at the forefront, these events are inspiring both consumers and brands to rethink their approach to fashion. They're proving that fashion can be glamorous, cutting-edge, and ethical all at once. So the next time you see a fashion show or festival happening in your city, take a closer look. You might just find that beneath the surface of all the glitz and glam, there's a movement happening. A movement that's using fashion to protect the planet and create a more sustainable future for us all. Because let's face it, what's more stylish than saving the planet, one fabulous outfit at a time? Chapter 8. Minimalist Fashion, Living with Less in the City. Welcome to the world of minimalist fashion, where less is definitely more. More space in your closet, more clarity in your style, and more time spent doing things you love instead of staring blankly at your wardrobe every morning wondering what to wear. It's about streamlining your wardrobe so that every piece serves a purpose, and every item sparks joy. Thanks, Marie Kondo. In cities where space is often at a premium and life moves at lightning speed, minimalist fashion has become more than just a trend, it's a way of life. Minimalism in fashion isn't just about decluttering your closet, though that's a nice bonus. It's a philosophy that promotes quality over quantity, thoughtful consumption, and a focus on timeless, versatile pieces that you'll wear again and again. And in today's urban world, where fast fashion can feel overwhelming, embracing a minimalist approach is like a breath of fresh air. It's about freeing yourself from the clutter, making more mindful choices, and ultimately creating a wardrobe that reflects your personal style without the chaos of endless options. So, how do you live with less in a city that's always trying to sell you more? Let's explore the key principles of minimalist fashion and how they fit perfectly with urban life. 1. The capsule wardrobe, your stylish uniform. At the heart of minimalist fashion is the concept of the capsule wardrobe. If you've ever wished you could have a closet full of clothes that all go together, can be mixed and matched effortlessly, and never leave you saying, "I have nothing to wear," then a capsule wardrobe is your new best friend. The idea is simple. Instead of owning a huge collection of clothes, you curate a small, versatile wardrobe made up of pieces that you love and that work well together. Typically, a capsule wardrobe consists of around 30 to 40 items, including tops, bottoms, outerwear, and shoes. The key is that each piece should be high quality, timeless, and versatile, allowing you to create countless outfits with just a few staples. Imagine this. You're rushing out the door for a meeting in the city, and instead of rummaging through piles of clothes, you grab your favorite black trousers, pair them with a crisp white shirt, throw on a tailored jacket, and slip into a sleek pair of loafers. Done. Your capsule wardrobe has you covered, and you look effortlessly chic. In cities where space is often limited, a capsule wardrobe is a game changer. It cuts down on clutter, simplifies your life, and ensures that every item in your closet is something you truly love. Plus, with fewer clothes to choose from, you'll spend less time getting dressed and more time enjoying the things that matter, like that extra cup of coffee before work. 2. Quality over quantity, investing in timeless pieces. One of the cornerstones of minimalist fashion is the focus on quality over quantity. Instead of buying 10 cheap t-shirts that will fall apart after a few washes, minimalist fashion encourages you to invest in 1 or 2 high-quality t-shirts that will last for years. The idea is that by owning fewer, better-made clothes, you reduce waste, save money in the long run, and build a wardrobe that stands the test of time. In urban areas where fast fashion is everywhere and trends change at the speed of light, it can be tempting to constantly buy new clothes. But minimalist fashion pushes back against that mindset, encouraging urbanites to take a more thoughtful approach to their wardrobe. It's about choosing timeless, versatile pieces that you can wear season after season, regardless of the latest fads. Take a classic trench coat, for example. It's the perfect urban staple, timeless, practical, and always in style. Sure, you could buy a cheaper version that will last a season or two, but investing in a well-made trench from a sustainable brand means you'll have a piece that you can wear for years. The same goes for items like a tailored blazer, a well-fitted pair of jeans, or a simple white shirt. These pieces never go out of style, and because they're high quality, they'll last much longer than their fast fashion counterparts. By focusing on durability and versatility, minimalist fashion allows you to get more wear out of each piece, reducing the need to constantly replace clothes. And as a bonus, you'll always look polished and put together, no matter where your city adventures take you. 3. Decluttering your wardrobe. Less is more. If you've ever opened your closet only to feel completely overwhelmed by the sheer amount of clothes you own, it might be time for a declutter. Minimalist fashion is all about letting go of the things you don't need and making space for the things that truly matter. It's about freeing yourself from the noise of excess and focusing on the essentials. Decluttering your wardrobe can be surprisingly liberating. Start by going through your closet and asking yourself a few key questions. Do I love this? Do I wear it often? Does it fit well? Does it reflect my style? If the answer is no, it's time to let it go. Donate it, sell it, or recycle it and enjoy the newfound space and peace of mind that comes with a simplified wardrobe. In cities where space is often tight, having a streamlined wardrobe is a game changer. No more overflowing closets, no more piles of clothes on the floor. Minimalist fashion is about curating a collection of items that you actually wear and love, rather than holding on to things just in case. The result? A cleaner, more organized living space and a clearer head. 4. The power of neutrals, building a versatile wardrobe. One of the secrets to creating a successful minimalist wardrobe is embracing neutral colors. Blacks, whites, grays, tans, and muted earth tones are the backbone of minimalist fashion because they're incredibly versatile and can be mixed and matched with ease. While bold colors and patterns are fun, they can sometimes be limiting when you're trying to create a cohesive wardrobe. By focusing on neutrals, you ensure that your clothes work together effortlessly, allowing you to create more outfits with fewer pieces. A black blazer, white shirt, gray trousers, and tan coat can be combined in dozens of ways, giving you endless outfit options without the need for tons of clothes. Of course, minimalist fashion doesn't mean you have to abandon color completely. Pops of color or statement accessories can add personality to your look, but the idea is to keep the foundation of your wardrobe simple and versatile. That way you can always rely on your go-to pieces to create a polished, timeless look. 5. Mindful shopping, the key to sustainable minimalism. At the heart of minimalist fashion is the idea of mindful consumption. In a world where shopping has become a favorite pastime for many, minimalist fashion encourages you to think carefully before making a purchase. Do you really need that new pair of shoes, or are you buying them just because they're on sale? Will that trendy jacket still be in style next year, or will it end up in the back of your closet, unworn? Minimalist fashion teaches us to slow down, consider our purchases, and focus on buying only what we truly need and love. This approach not only helps you build a more intentional wardrobe, but it also reduces the demand for fast fashion, which is one of the biggest contributors to environmental damage in the fashion industry. In cities where shopping opportunities are endless, it can be tempting to always be on the hunt for the next great piece. But by embracing a minimalist mindset, you shift your focus from quantity to quality, ensuring that every purchase is a thoughtful one. This kind of mindful shopping is not only better for your wallet, it's better for the planet too. 6. Minimalist fashion as a lifestyle. Here's the thing about minimalist fashion. It's not just about your clothes, it's about your entire approach to life. In cities where everything moves quickly and there's always something competing for your attention, minimalist fashion offers a sense of calm and simplicity. It's about making intentional choices, reducing the clutter, both physical and mental, and focusing on the things that truly matter. When you embrace minimalist fashion, you're not just curating a wardrobe, you're curating a lifestyle. You're choosing to live with less, focus on what's essential, and let go of the constant need for more. And in the fast-paced world of urban living, that's a powerful thing. In a city that never stops, minimalist fashion offers a refreshing alternative to the constant cycle of trends and consumption. It's about finding freedom in simplicity, living with less, and focusing on quality over quantity. Whether you're building a capsule wardrobe, investing in timeless pieces, or simply decluttering your closet, minimalist fashion allows you to create a style that's effortlessly chic and endlessly versatile. So, if you're ready to embrace the less is more philosophy, start by taking a look at your wardrobe. What can you let go of? What are the pieces that truly reflect your style and bring you joy? By making mindful choices and focusing on the essentials, you'll not only create a wardrobe you love, you'll create space for more of the things that truly matter in your life. And in a busy city, that space is priceless. Chapter 9. Sustainable Fashion Technologies. Innovations in the Urban Fashion Industry. Technology and fashion may seem like an unlikely pair, but in today's fast-evolving world, they're proving to be the ultimate power couple. And the best part? Their relationship is helping the planet. Welcome to the world of sustainable fashion technologies, where innovation is driving the urban fashion industry toward a greener, more ethical future. From smart fabrics that can regulate your body temperature to 3D printed clothing that reduces waste, the future of fashion is looking brighter, and it's happening right here in the heart of our cities. Cities have always been hubs of innovation, and when it comes to fashion, urban areas are leading the way in adopting new technologies that help reduce waste, lower carbon footprints, and create more efficient, sustainable production processes. As urban dwellers demand more transparency, ethical practices, and eco-friendly solutions, fashion brands are stepping up and embracing cutting-edge technologies to meet those needs. Let's dive into some of the most exciting advancements in sustainable fashion technology and how they're shaping the future of city style. 1. 3D printing, the future of fashion on demand. Imagine a world where you can walk into a store, choose a garment, and have it 3D printed right before your eyes, perfectly tailored to your body. Sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? But this future is already becoming a reality. 3D printing is revolutionizing fashion, offering a way to create clothing with zero waste, no excess inventory, and a completely customized fit, all things that align perfectly with the values of sustainable fashion. Here's how it works. 3D printing involves creating objects layer by layer from a digital file, using materials like recycled plastics, biodegradable polymers, or even innovative fibers made from sustainable sources. Instead of traditional manufacturing methods, which often result in tons of leftover fabric and materials, 3D printing only uses exactly what's needed for each garment. This means less waste, less energy consumption, and a whole new level of customization. Brands like Danit Peleg, a pioneer in 3D printed fashion, are already showing what's possible. Peleg famously created an entire collection of 3D printed garments, proving that fashion doesn't have to rely on outdated, resource-heavy production methods. Urban areas are the perfect breeding ground for this kind of innovation, with tech-savvy consumers eager to embrace new ways of creating and wearing clothes. In the future, we could see 3D printing boutiques popping up across cities, offering on-demand, sustainable fashion that's designed specifically for you. Goodbye, fast fashion waste. Hello, tailored eco-friendly style. 2. Smart fabrics, clothing that thinks for you. What if your clothes could regulate your temperature, protect you from UV rays, or even monitor your health? Enter smart fabrics, a game-changing innovation that's combining fashion and technology in ways we never thought possible. These fabrics are embedded with tiny sensors or conductive fibers that allow them to interact with the environment, adapt to your needs, and even collect data, all while looking as stylish as ever. For example, some smart fabrics can automatically cool you down when you're overheating or warm you up when the temperature drops, perfect for unpredictable urban climates. Others can track your activity levels, measure your heart rate, or monitor UV exposure, making them ideal for city dwellers who are always on the go. But smart fabrics aren't just about high-tech functionality, they're also helping to reduce the environmental impact of clothing. Many of these fabrics are made from sustainable materials or incorporate recycling technology to minimize waste. Companies like Clim8 are developing fabrics that can regulate body temperature, reducing the need for heavy, energy-intensive layers in winter or air-conditioned spaces in summer, making your wardrobe more efficient and sustainable. In urban areas where people are constantly on the move, smart fabrics offer the perfect blend of style, convenience, and eco-friendliness. Whether you're commuting to work, hitting the gym, or exploring the city, these fabrics ensure you're always comfortable while also being kind to the planet. 3. Digital fashion, the rise of virtual clothing. In an increasingly digital world, it was only a matter of time before fashion entered the virtual realm. Digital fashion refers to clothing that exists entirely in the digital space, meaning you can wear it online in virtual environments or on social media, but it doesn't exist physically. While this might sound strange at first, it's becoming a major trend in the world of sustainable fashion. Why? Because digital fashion eliminates the need for materials, production, and shipping altogether, making it the ultimate eco-friendly solution. Instead of buying a physical garment that requires resources and contributes to waste, you can purchase a digital outfit, upload it to your social media, and show off your style without leaving a carbon footprint. Fashion brands like The Fabricant are leading the charge, creating stunning digital collections that can be worn online, whether through augmented reality, AR, or in virtual environments. This trend is particularly popular in cities, where fashion-conscious consumers are eager to reduce their environmental impact while staying on the cutting edge of style. As urbanites spend more time in virtual spaces, whether for work, socializing, or entertainment, digital fashion offers a way to express personal style without contributing to the negative impacts of traditional fashion. Plus, let's be honest, there's something pretty cool about owning a digital wardrobe that's truly one of a kind. 4. Closed-loop recycling, turning old clothes into new. One of the biggest challenges in sustainable fashion is figuring out what to do with clothes once they've reached the end of their life cycle. Enter closed-loop recycling, a technology that's transforming how we think about clothing waste. The idea behind closed-loop systems is that materials from old clothes can be broken down and turned into new garments, creating a circular fashion cycle where nothing goes to waste. Here's how it works. When clothes made from closed-loop fabrics like certain types of polyester, cotton, or wool are discarded, they can be collected, chemically or mechanically broken down, and spun back into new fibers. These fibers are then used to create new clothing, meaning that instead of ending up in a landfill, your old t-shirt could be reincarnated as a brand new sweater. Urban fashion brands like H&M and Stella McCartney are already incorporating closed-loop recycling into their collections, with take-back programs that encourage consumers to return their old clothes for recycling. Cities are the perfect testing ground for this technology as they're home to large populations and high levels of consumption, and, unfortunately, waste. By adopting closed-loop systems, urban fashion can significantly reduce its environmental footprint. The ultimate goal? A future where every garment you buy is part of a circular fashion system, where nothing is thrown away and everything is continuously recycled. And in a world where textile waste is a growing problem, this technology could be the key to building a more sustainable future. 5. AI and fashion design. Smarter, more efficient production. Artificial intelligence, AI, is making waves in the fashion industry, and it's not just about creating algorithms to suggest your next outfit, though that's pretty cool too. In urban areas, AI is being used to make the fashion production process more sustainable and efficient, helping brands reduce waste, optimize resources, and create clothing with a lower environmental impact. For example, AI can analyze consumer data to predict fashion trends more accurately, reducing the need for overproduction, one of the biggest sources of waste in the fashion industry. By using AI to better understand what consumers want, brands can produce exactly the right amount of clothing, cutting down on excess inventory and reducing waste. AI is also being used in smart manufacturing, where robots and automated systems can produce clothing more efficiently, with less waste and fewer resources. These technologies are particularly beneficial in cities, where space for traditional manufacturing is limited, and sustainability is a top priority. In the future, AI could also help designers create garments that are perfectly tailored to individual consumers, reducing the need for mass production and making fashion more personal and sustainable. Imagine a world where every piece of clothing is made just for you without any wasted materials. Thanks to AI, that future isn't as far off as it sounds. Sustainable fashion technologies are reshaping the way we think about clothing in urban areas, offering exciting new solutions that make the industry more ethical, efficient, and eco-friendly. From 3D printed garments to smart fabrics, digital fashion, and closed-loop recycling, these innovations are paving the way for a greener future. One that's perfectly suited to the fast-paced, tech-savvy world of city living. As these technologies continue to evolve, urban fashion will only become more sustainable, offering consumers more options for stylish, eco-conscious clothing that doesn't sacrifice aesthetics for ethics. And the best part? These innovations aren't just good for the planet, they're also making fashion more creative, more inclusive, and more fun. In a world where cities are constantly evolving, the fashion industry is keeping pace with technology, finding new ways to reduce waste, conserve resources, and create clothes that are as good for the planet as they are for our wardrobes. So, as you walk through your city streets in the future, you might just be wearing a 3D printed jacket, smart fabric pants, and a digital scarf, all while knowing that your style is helping to make the world a better place. How's that for sustainable urban fashion? Chapter 10. The role of policy and urban governments in supporting sustainable fashion. When you think of fashion, the first thing that probably comes to mind is a designer runway show or the latest trend hitting the streets. But behind the scenes of those stylish outfits, there's a whole different world at play, one that's often less glamorous but equally important: policy. In the push for a more sustainable fashion industry, governments, especially in urban areas, are becoming key players, creating regulations, incentives, and frameworks that encourage eco-friendly practices across the board. Let's be real. While individual choices and brand initiatives are crucial, large-scale, long-lasting change requires structural support, and that's where policy steps in. Cities are at the heart of this transformation, acting as laboratories for sustainability and testing grounds for innovative ideas. Urban governments are increasingly recognizing the environmental and social impacts of the fashion industry, and they're taking action to drive change from the top down. From waste reduction initiatives to incentives for sustainable brands, cities are shaping the future of fashion by laying down the groundwork for a more responsible industry. Let's explore the pivotal role that policy and urban governments are playing in supporting sustainable fashion and what this means for the future of style in cities around the world. 1. Fashion and environmental policy. Urban governments taking charge. The fashion industry is one of the largest contributors to pollution and waste, with textile production accounting for around 10% of global carbon emissions. In cities where consumption is high and waste piles up quickly, the impact is especially pronounced. But urban governments are increasingly stepping up to tackle these issues, creating environmental policies specifically aimed at reducing the fashion industry's footprint. Take New York City, for example. In 2020, the city launched the Fashion Act, a groundbreaking piece of legislation that aims to hold fashion companies accountable for their environmental and social impacts. The law requires large brands to disclose their carbon footprints, water usage, and waste management practices, and sets guidelines for reducing pollution. It's one of the first laws of its kind, and it signals a major shift in how cities are approaching the environmental impact of fashion. Similarly, cities like Paris, already a global fashion capital, are becoming sustainability pioneers. Paris has pledged to become a zero-waste city by 2050, and as part of that plan, it's working closely with fashion brands and retailers to reduce textile waste and encourage circular fashion practices. The city's government has also backed initiatives like La Caserne, a fashion accelerator that helps emerging brands adopt sustainable business models, offering financial support and resources to designers who are committed to eco-friendly practices. Urban governments like those in New York and Paris are showing that policy can be a powerful tool in creating a more sustainable fashion industry. By setting standards, holding brands accountable, and incentivizing greener practices, cities are leading the charge in the fight against fashion's environmental toll. 2. Incentives for sustainable fashion brands, making green choices profitable. While regulations and guidelines are essential, urban governments are also finding ways to incentivize sustainable fashion. After all, if you want brands to adopt eco-friendly practices, you need to make it worth their while. Cities are increasingly offering financial incentives, grants, and tax breaks to encourage fashion brands to go green, proving that sustainability can be both good for the planet and good for business. For instance, London has introduced several initiatives to support sustainable fashion startups. The city offers grants and funding opportunities for small businesses focused on eco-friendly fashion, helping them get off the ground and scale their operations. One standout program is the Sustainable Fashion Accelerator, which connects fashion entrepreneurs with experts in sustainability, providing them with the tools and resources they need to build greener brands. Other cities, like Amsterdam, have gone a step further by offering subsidies to fashion companies that actively reduce their environmental impact. Amsterdam's government supports circular fashion practices, such as clothing repair, recycling, and resale, by providing funding to brands that embrace these methods. This approach not only incentivizes sustainable innovation but also helps make eco-friendly fashion more accessible to consumers. By providing financial support and resources, urban governments are making it easier for fashion brands to choose sustainability over profit-driven shortcuts. These incentives help level the playing field, allowing smaller, eco-conscious brands to compete with larger companies while staying true to their sustainable values. 3. Urban waste management, tackling textile waste one city at a time. One of the biggest challenges in sustainable fashion is the overwhelming amount of textile waste generated each year. In cities where fast fashion consumption is rampant, clothing often ends up in landfills after just a few wears, contributing to the global waste crisis. But urban governments are working to change that by implementing waste management policies that specifically target textile disposal and recycling. In San Francisco, for example, the city has implemented an ambitious goal to achieve zero waste by 2025. As part of this initiative, San Francisco has developed a robust textile recycling program that encourages residents to donate old clothing and textiles rather than throwing them away. The city partners with local charities and fashion brands to ensure that donated items are either resold, repurposed, or recycled into new materials, helping to reduce the amount of waste sent to landfills. In Berlin, the city's government has introduced clothing drop-off points at key locations across the city, making it easier for people to recycle unwanted clothes. Berlin has also launched several public awareness campaigns to educate citizens about the environmental impact of textile waste and encourage more responsible consumption. Urban governments are also exploring innovative solutions to textile waste, such as fiber-to-fiber recycling technologies that break down old fabrics and turn them into new ones. By investing in these technologies and promoting recycling programs, cities are playing a crucial role in reducing the environmental impact of fashion waste. 4. Supporting local production, reducing the carbon footprint. One of the lesser-known ways urban governments are promoting sustainable fashion is by encouraging local production. In the past, fashion brands have outsourced manufacturing to countries where labor is cheap, but this comes with significant environmental and ethical costs, including high carbon emissions from transportation and questionable labor practices. But cities are pushing for a return to local manufacturing, which not only supports the local economy but also helps reduce the industry's carbon footprint. In Los Angeles, for instance, the city has long been a hub for garment manufacturing, and local governments are now working to make sure that production happens in an ethical and environmentally friendly way. The LA Green Business Program offers certification to manufacturers who meet sustainability standards, incentivizing factories to reduce waste, conserve energy, and improve working conditions. Similarly, Milan, another global fashion capital, is investing in local production to reduce its carbon footprint. The city is encouraging designers to source materials and produce their collections within Italy, cutting down on the transportation-related emissions that come with shipping fabrics and garments overseas. Local production not only helps reduce emissions but also fosters stronger connections between designers, manufacturers, and consumers. By supporting local supply chains, urban governments are helping to create a more transparent, sustainable fashion ecosystem. 5. Educating consumers, building a culture of sustainable fashion. Sustainability isn't just about what brands and governments do, it's also about changing consumer behavior. And in cities where fashion consumption is at its highest, education is key. Many urban governments are investing in public awareness campaigns to encourage more responsible fashion choices, from buying less to choosing eco-friendly materials and recycling old clothes. Cities like Copenhagen have launched public initiatives to promote sustainable fashion choices, with events like Sustainable Fashion Day, where citizens can learn about ethical brands, attend clothing swaps, and get tips on extending the life of their clothes. In Tokyo, the city's government partners with local fashion schools and universities to educate the next generation of designers about sustainable practices, ensuring that the future of fashion is greener and more responsible. By educating consumers, urban governments are helping to create a culture of sustainability, where people are more aware of the impact their fashion choices have on the environment. And when consumers are informed, they're more likely to demand better practices from brands, creating a ripple effect throughout the industry. Urban governments are proving to be key allies in the fight for sustainable fashion, using policy, incentives, and public education to drive meaningful change. By holding brands accountable, reducing textile waste, supporting local production, and promoting responsible consumption, cities are leading the way in creating a more sustainable fashion industry. But the work is far from over. As the fashion industry continues to evolve, urban governments will need to keep pushing for stronger policies, better practices, and more innovative solutions. The good news is that cities are well positioned to drive this change, with their unique ability to set trends, influence global markets, and serve as testing grounds for new ideas. The role of policy in sustainable fashion may not be as glamorous as the runway, but it's just as essential. Because at the end of the day, true sustainability isn't just about what we wear. It's about creating a system that supports ethical production, reduces waste, and ensures that fashion can thrive without harming the planet. And with the help of urban governments, that future is within reach. Conclusion: the future of sustainable fashion in urban areas. As we've journeyed through the streets of sustainable fashion in urban environments, from the rise of slow fashion to the power of innovative technology, it's clear that we're living through an exciting transformation. Cities are not just places where trends are born, they're becoming the beating heart of the sustainable fashion movement, where creativity meets responsibility and style meets ethics. In a world where fast fashion has dominated for far too long, urban areas are leading the charge to make sustainability the new normal in our wardrobes. But let's be real for a moment, this shift isn't happening overnight. Creating a truly sustainable fashion industry requires more than just swapping out a few plastic hangers for bamboo ones or adding some recycled polyester into a clothing line. It's about rethinking how we consume, how we produce, and how we value what we wear. And the good news? Cities, those bustling hubs of innovation and creativity, are the perfect place to kickstart this revolution. So, what does the future of sustainable fashion in urban areas look like? Let's take a moment to reflect on where we've been, what's working, and where we're headed. 1. A new kind of trend-setting, slow, conscious, and personal. Urban fashion has always been at the forefront of setting trends, but the trends of tomorrow won't be about speed or excess. They'll be about slowing down, making thoughtful choices, and embracing personal style over mass consumption. We've already seen how the slow fashion movement is taking root in cities, offering an alternative to the throwaway culture that fast fashion has perpetuated for years. In the future, city dwellers will lead the way in curating wardrobes that are intentional, versatile, and built to last. Capsule wardrobes will become more common, with urbanites choosing quality pieces that reflect their unique style and values. The result? Fewer impulse buys, less waste, and a more mindful approach to fashion that prioritizes longevity over fleeting trends. We'll also see a continued emphasis on personal expression. As consumers move away from fast fashion's cookie-cutter approach, more people will embrace the idea that style isn't about keeping up with the latest fad. It's about wearing what makes you feel confident, comfortable, and aligned with your values. In cities where individuality is celebrated, this shift will be especially powerful. 2. The expansion of circular fashion. Circular fashion, where clothes are designed, produced, and used in ways that minimize waste and keep materials in use for as long as possible, isn't just a concept anymore. It's a growing movement that's reshaping how urbanites think about their clothes. From clothing rental services to upcycling workshops and take-back programs, the idea of fashion as part of a circular economy is taking root in cities around the world. Looking ahead, we'll see the expansion of circular fashion practices becoming a staple in urban environments. More and more brands will offer resale platforms, allowing customers to return used garments in exchange for discounts or new purchases. Repair services and upcycling hubs will become more accessible, giving people the tools and skills they need to extend the life of their clothes. And clothing swaps, already popular in many cities, will continue to grow as a way to share and repurpose fashion, reducing the need for new production. This shift toward circularity isn't just about reducing waste, it's about redefining fashion as something that's shared, reused, and reimagined. In cities where resources are limited and waste is often visible, circular fashion will become a cornerstone of sustainable living. 3. Technology, the fashion industry's eco-friendly sidekick. Technology is transforming every aspect of our lives, and fashion is no exception. As we look to the future, we'll see sustainable fashion technologies playing an even greater role in how we design, produce, and consume clothing. From 3D printing to smart fabrics and digital fashion, urban areas will continue to be the testing grounds for these innovations. Imagine walking into a store, customizing your outfit, and having it 3D printed to your exact specifications on the spot. No waste, no mass production, just a perfectly tailored piece made for you. This isn't a far-off fantasy. It's already happening in forward-thinking cities, and it's only going to become more common. By embracing these technologies, cities will reduce the environmental impact of fashion production and offer consumers a more personalized, sustainable shopping experience. We'll also see a rise in digital fashion, where clothing exists in virtual spaces rather than physical ones. As urbanites spend more time in the digital realm, whether for work, socializing, or entertainment, digital fashion will provide a sustainable alternative to traditional clothing consumption, allowing people to express their style without contributing to textile waste. 4. Policy and public support, a collaborative future. Urban governments are proving to be key players in the push for sustainable fashion, using policy to drive change and incentivize greener practices. As we look ahead, we'll see even more collaboration between city governments, fashion brands, and consumers, creating a robust framework that supports sustainability at every level. Cities will continue to pass environmental policies that hold fashion brands accountable for their carbon footprints, water usage, and waste management practices. Take-back programs, textile recycling initiatives, and public awareness campaigns will become even more widespread, helping to reduce textile waste and promote more responsible consumption. But it's not just about regulations. It's about building a culture of sustainability that permeates every aspect of urban life. Cities will invest in educating consumers about the environmental impact of fashion, making it easier for people to make informed, eco-friendly choices. We'll see more public events, fashion shows, and festivals dedicated to sustainable fashion, helping to raise awareness and inspire change on a larger scale. 5. The role of urban consumers, fashioning a better future. Ultimately, the future of sustainable fashion in urban areas will be driven by consumers. As city dwellers become more conscious of the impact their fashion choices have on the environment, they'll demand better practices from the brands they support. We're already seeing this shift. Urbanites are asking questions, seeking transparency, and choosing brands that align with their values. The future of fashion isn't just in the hands of designers or policymakers. It's in the hands of everyday people who are choosing to buy less, buy better, and think twice before making a purchase. This collective shift in mindset will create a ripple effect, pushing brands to adopt more sustainable practices and encouraging innovation across the industry. And in cities where trends start and spread, this change will have a global impact. What happens in New York, Paris, Tokyo, and London doesn't stay there. It influences fashion markets around the world. By embracing sustainable fashion in urban areas, we're setting the stage for a future where eco-conscious style is the norm, not the exception. So, what does all of this mean for you, the stylish city dweller? It means that the choices you make, whether it's buying from an ethical brand, renting a dress for an event, or upcycling your old jeans, matter. It means that fashion in all its forms can be a powerful tool for positive change. And it means that, together, we can create a world where looking good doesn't have to come at the planet's expense. The future of sustainable fashion is bright, and cities are at the forefront of this transformation. With innovation, collaboration, and a commitment to responsible consumption, we're reshaping the fashion industry for the better. And in this new world of eco-conscious style, one thing is clear: fashion and sustainability are no longer at odds. They're partners in creating a more beautiful, equitable, and sustainable future for all.